Okay, so today we're basically putting together an owner's manual for one of the most critical pieces of your home. One that, let's be honest, most of us completely ignore until it breaks down. We're talking about your HVAC system.
I mean, just think about it for a second. What's that one thing in your house that works day and night through scorching summers and freezing winters that your comfort absolutely depends on? And when was the last time you gave it a second thought? Yep, you guessed it. Your heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system. It's really the mechanical heart of your home. So today, we're going to get to know it a little better. How it works, why it fails, and most importantly, how to make smart decisions about it so you don't get stuck. And look, to really get why these things break down, you first have to appreciate the incredible amount of stress they're under, all the time. Let's use a place like Loveland, Ohio as a perfect example. It's in a river valley, which means you get this really humid climate. So in the summer, you've got temperatures in the 90s, plus all that heavy, sticky humidity. Your AC is just working overtime constantly. Then winter hits and the temperature plummets below 20 degrees, and your furnace has to run nonstop just to keep up. It's this constant, brutal battle with extreme temperatures and moisture that puts so much strain on every single part of the system. And all that strain, well, it eventually leads to the moment every single homeowner dreads. Your system just gives up. But here's the thing, it almost always tries to warn you first. You just have to know what to look for. So let's dive into the 4 most common distress signals your system is going to send you. If you see or hear any of these things happening, it is definitely time to pay attention. Now this first one, it's kind of weird, right? Ice on your air conditioner coils when it's blazing hot outside? It just seems backward. But it happens because something, usually a really dirty filter, is blocking air from flowing over the coils. The refrigerant inside gets way too cold, and then any humidity in the air just freezes instantly on contact. This is a huge problem. Not only does it stop your house from cooling down, but it can destroy your compressor, which, by the way, is the most expensive part to replace. Have you ever noticed your system doing this? It kicks on for like a minute, then shuts off, then kicks on again a few minutes later. That's called short cycling. It means something is cutting the normal cycle short. It could be something simple like a dirty flame sensor, or it could be something much more serious. The bottom line is, your house never actually gets comfortable, and you're putting a massive amount of extra wear and tear on the whole system. Your HVAC system should really just be background noise, a gentle hum. So if you suddenly start hearing grinding, squealing, or loud banging, that's basically a mechanical scream for help. Those sounds almost always mean that bearings inside a motor are failing or some other part is loose. Ignoring it is kind of like hearing a rattling in your car's engine and just turning up the radio. It's only going to get worse and a whole lot more expensive. This one's pretty common. You can hear the system is on, you know it's running, but when you put your hand up to the vent, there's barely a whisper of air coming out. This is a classic sign of a clog somewhere. Best case scenario, it's just a severely dirty filter that you forgot to change. Worst case, you could have blocked ducts or a blower motor that's dying and just doesn't have the muscle to push the air through anymore. Okay, so you've spotted one of the warning signs. You know something's wrong. So what should happen when you actually call a professional? Let's demystify what a good service call looks like. You know, any quality repair job should follow a really clear 3-step process. First up is dispatch and diagnosis. This is where the technician comes out and systematically tests everything to find the real root cause, not just the symptom. Step 2 is the expert repair itself, using the right parts and doing it correctly. And then finally, and this part is so important, testing and verification. They should run your system through a full cycle right there to prove that the fix actually worked. So what makes a technician great, not just good? Well, a great tech communicates clearly about what they're finding. They use modern digital tools to get precise readings. They're not just guessing. And probably the most important thing, they give you exact upfront pricing before they start any of the work. That transparency is everything. It puts you in control and means you won't get hit with a surprise bill at the end. And that upfront price leads directly to the biggest and honestly most stressful question you can face as a homeowner with an HVAC problem. Do you pay for this repair, or is it finally time to replace the whole darn thing? Well, thankfully, there's a fantastic rule of thumb that can help you make this decision. It's called the $5,000 rule. It's just a simple piece of math to stop you from throwing good money after bad on a system that's on its last legs. Here's how easy it is. You just multiply the age of your unit in years by the repair cost you were just quoted. If that number comes out to more than $5,000, then replacement is almost certainly the smarter financial move. So, for example, say you have a 15-year-old system and the repair is going to be $400. Well, 15 times 400 is $6,000. Since that's over the $5,000 threshold, the rule tells you it's time to start looking at new units. It's a brilliant way to see how even a seemingly small repair might not be worth it on an old machine.
And that really gets to the heart of the trade-off, doesn't it? Repairing is tempting because it's a lower cost right now, but you're still left with an old, inefficient unit that could just break down again next month. Replacing is a much bigger investment up front, for sure. But what do you get? A brand new warranty, much better energy efficiency that'll lower your bills every month, and hopefully, years of peace of mind.
All right, to wrap all this up, let's run through a few quick and powerful pro tips that can seriously save you a ton of money and a whole lot of stress down the line. First things first, know the average lifespan. In a place with tough weather like Ohio, a system that's been well maintained will last you about 15 years. So if your unit is getting close to that age, you should be planning for its replacement, not just waiting for it to die on the hottest day of the summer. And when you do go to replace it, you're going to see these things called SEER ratings. The easiest way to think about this is like MPG for your car. A higher number is better. A 16 SEER unit will cost more upfront than the basic 13 SEER model, yeah, but it can cut your cooling costs by over 20%. Over 5 to 7 years, the energy savings can actually pay for the difference in price. So when is the right time to pull the trigger on that purchase? Believe it or not, the timing can make a big difference. The absolute best time to buy is during the off-season. Think fall and early spring, basically from October through March. HVAC companies aren't as swamped, so you'll get way more flexible scheduling and, often, better pricing. Plus, manufacturers tend to offer rebates during these slower months to drum up business. Planning ahead saves you cash and saves you from the panic of a mid-summer emergency breakdown. And that really brings us to our final thought. You now have the owner's manual. You understand your home's unsung hero. So the only question left is, have you checked on your hero lately? Is it really ready for the season ahead?